Wasn't that fun? Did you ever celebrate Christmas in September? Thank you for traveling back with me to my childhood. And a big thank you to my wonderful daughter Sarah, the best daughter who ever breathed. She was a tremendous help doing the video with me and dressing dolls. She's my mini me and the love of my life. After Modern Doll in San Antonio, none of us knew how hard this next year would be for us all. For me, it was a tough year, and I had been hit by the virus very early and twice. In the middle of my doll production in early spring, China locked down and nobody knew when the production would be continued and dolls would be ready to ship. Some weeks later, Germany was locked down and like many other businesses, I fought to survive. My dolls came 3 months late, everything was postponed. The clothing production in Indonesia was stuck due to the lockdown in Jakarta. The whole world was mixed up. Businesses closed, freight and delivery issues occurred worldwide, markets closed, and so on. The next shock was that I cannot deliver small items to my customers in USA as usual for a reasonable price. Until today, the service I used for shipping to USA is not available. I worked so hard having a great customer service and now it is out of my hands. All of a sudden, I had more work and less income. However, digging into my childhood and traveling back to the 1970s was so much fun, so many memories. My sister and I grew up in a small village, a place where everyone knows what the neighbor is doing, a paradise. We wore dresses with short skirts, white stockings, T-strap and Mary Jane shoes in all ridiculous bright colors and funny patterns. And I remember our first denims. When I think about my childhood, I can feel the peace and freedom we had. I can smell the spring when trees were in bloom. I smell the fruits from our apple trees in the garden, ready for harvest, and I see my father standing on a ladder, picking red and delicious cherries, which my mom cooked to make marmalade and jam for us. And we made earrings. Do you remember this? I feel the soft fur of our cat who was always around, and I hear the laughter of the kids, our friends, who were always in our house and welcomed. And of course, I remember my doll Sabine, who I loved to bits, and I carried her around wherever we went. Sabine climbed up with me into our tree house in the backyard. She was sitting in a basket of my bicycle and walked through the forest with me and my grandparents. I didn't go anywhere without Sabine, and she had to be redressed all the time. In clothing my mom and my auntie made for our dolls, knitted, crocheted, and sewn with so much love. I still have the sewing pattern from Burda my mother was working with to make our dolls the best dressed girls in town. And of course, I talked with Sabine, and she knows all my adventures, sorrow, and happiness. She was my best companion and buddy. And this, boys, hubbies, and men, is why we love our dolls. It's never too late to have a happy childhood.